Hey guys, Tim here with a quick manga unboxing. It finally arrived. Actually, shouldn't be saying finally just because it only took less than 3 days to arrive from Japan. It shipped out on August 1st and it arrived today, which is August 3rd, which is amazing because every time I order a package here in the States, it takes upwards of a week, usually at least a week, sometimes up to 2 weeks. And we're talking about the Postal Service or your USPS or your FedEx, stuff like that. Even just getting stuff here in the States that fast is very, 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 very unlikely. The least amount of time I can usually expect to get a package whenever I order something here, be it off eBay, Amazon, or whatever, unless I explicitly pay for like 2-day shipping. But even whenever I pay for 2-day shipping, it instantly is going to take 3 days just because I live so far away from the cities and it has to go through more locations to reach me. So even if I pay for 2 days, it's going to be 3 days. So the fastest I can usually get a package with your standard shipping is at least around 5 to 7 business days. So really excited to have this. It's a manga series that I've wanted for a very long time. It's actually a manga series that I was buying in English back whenever it was still published here in English before it got canceled. It's going to be Katekyo Hitman Reborn, which this is the first volume I ever bought of it back in 2008. So I was buying it before it got canceled, and unfortunately I stopped buying it just because it did get canceled. So this is all the volumes that I have because this is what my bookstore had at the time back then until it got canceled from Viz. And at that time I didn't have a lot of money, so I had to choose which things I was going to buy because I was buying up like Kurohime and Bleach and Naruto and stuff. That's what I was buying back then around the 2008-2009 era. I was buying up all those series. And then of course in 2009, like 2009-2010, Viz went and just nuked tons of series, and this was like one of them. So that's pretty unfortunate that we missed out on that one. It's a 42 volume manga series, and I was originally going to wait until I got to Japan again to like buy a lot more English or Japanese manga. But as we know, Japan's been closed for like 3 years now to tourists, so I haven't been able to get there and buy some things just because it's a lot cheaper to buy stuff there. And I was actually going to buy a lot of manga there. Next time I went, I was going to buy probably at least in the hundreds of volumes, and I was actually going to ship them back instead of actually bringing them back with me, because usually I only buy enough stuff while I'm there that I can fit it in my luggage to bring it back. But next time I was going to go, I was actually going to ship the stuff back, be it Japan Post or FedEx or whatever I had at the time, whatever was available and whatever was probably cheaper. But yeah, that's what I was going to do back then. Well, that's what I'm still planning to do whenever they finally do open their borders again. But this is actually my first time buying used Japanese manga off eBay from Japan, like a full series. Usually I buy from Amazon Japan. Like I usually buy new Japanese manga unless I'm in Japan, just because whenever you're in Japan you can buy like tons of manga. Most of your like used manga in your bookstores, like Book Off, Mandarake, stuff like that, is going to be around the 100 yen range. Some of them might be a bit more, but you can find a lot of manga around the 100 yen range, even less sometimes. So what did I pay for this one? It's 42 manga volumes, and I believe I paid around $140. I don't remember exactly. It's been a little bit, and I've bought quite a bit more since then. So anyway, let's try and get this opened up. My biggest concern with buying like used manga, especially a series this old, is not the wear and tear of the manga, just because Japanese manga collectors and stuff, even whenever you buy your used manga, they're usually in incredibly good condition because Japanese people keep their manga in really good condition, from my experience buying used manga in Japan. So that's not my concern. But the concern I do have is the fading on the manga volumes themselves, like on the sun wear and stuff like that. But it doesn't look too bad. A series that's definitely going to concern me whenever I do buy it, and it is on my list to buy relatively soon. Well, the earlier volumes here are a little faded and stuff, a little yellowed by the sun, so that's a little disappointing, but can't really complain. All these manga for an incredibly good deal. It'd be way cheaper than buying them all new, and I don't even know if they keep all these in print anymore just because it's an older series, but we're going to see about opening it up, and I'm going to try to go through and show off the manga volumes. Gotta try to get this video done relatively quick just because I'm gonna have to film another video today because I have another package coming in. This one arrived through FedEx, which was really impressive just because usually whenever I buy from Japan, it's well, on Amazon, it's usually, most of the time it's DHL just because I pay the extra to have that. But anyway, let's get on with this. We have volume 1. Ooh, the lighting is bad right here, so sorry about that. Volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5. Maybe I can finally read the series. Volume 6. All of them are in pretty good condition. A bit of shelf wear, like around the tops of the corners are a little worn, but that could be just because there's not a lot of packaging and just getting a little damaged in transit. But for the price that I paid for these, definitely not a bad price at all. But anyway, I was talking about the fading being an issue and the sun bleaching and the yellowing of the pages. Which volume is this? 11, 12. One of the next series that I plan to buy, well, it may not be this year, it might be next year before I finally actually buy that, is going to be Hajime no Ippo, which is over 130 volumes, and like the early volumes are really old, so that's definitely a concern of mine whenever I buy that series. It's probably going to be, I forget what I looked it up on eBay for, but it's $300-400 range. Volume 13, volume 14, which this is when the manga starts getting really good. Volume 15, volume 16, and that's actually the final volume that they released in English, is this one right here, volume 16. So this is all we got in English, and there is a lot more left because it's a 42 volume manga series. This cover is actually really cool. I really like green covers, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure does that a lot, so that's one reason I like JoJo's. Volume 17, volume 18. But yeah, pretty happy with my buy from this eBay seller. This is my first experience like importing Japanese manga, like used Japanese manga from eBay from a seller in Japan. Wow, the lighting is horrible on this. Volume 21. Alright, put these to the side. So I'm probably going to order from them again just because there's a lot of sellers on eBay in Japan right now, and has some really good deals from this seller that I bought these from. So I'm actually eyeballing quite a number of series. Great Teacher Onizuka is one of them. Of course, all your shonens like Naruto. You can buy all 72 volumes of Naruto for like $200, somewhere around there. So it's crazy how cheap Japanese manga is, and it's definitely going to make collecting a lot easier for me now that I've made the transition to Japanese manga, and I'm actually able to read it now, or begin reading it. I can't. Usually whenever I read Japanese manga, I get the gist of what's going on, unless I take time to look up like every word, which would take a very long time. But right now I'm trying to increase my reading speed in Japanese, so I'm mostly just reading through Japanese manga with doing minimal looking up words, just because my vocabulary in Japanese is somewhere around the 1,000 to 1,500 range, which is not a lot at all. That's 1,000 to 1,500 sentences, like my vocab for that, which you need around 10,000 sentences in order to be basic fluency, so have quite a while. Oh, the lighting is so bad, sorry about that. I don't have any lamps or anything set up, but that was 22, 23. I actually really like this cover. It's a shame we didn't get this over here. I know probably not going to try to read this series for a while yet. Might actually wait until next year, because it's a manga series that I haven't read since the English volumes back in the days, so I have no idea what happens in the rest of the story. All I know is it's pretty beloved, and I believe it might be getting a new anime adaptation, or maybe that's just a rumor, but do need to actually watch the anime sometime. Yeah, I really like the art style, especially later on whenever the mangaka, whenever she builds her own style and sets into it. Like, I've looked at some of the art like later on, and it's actually really good, and I really like it. It gives shades of D. Gray Man, which is another phenomenally illustrated series, but don't ever know if that one will finish. Unfortunately, 29, because hardly ever getting any new volumes. That's another green cover. I really like that. Number 30. It's actually really cool. So yeah, don't have a lot to say about this series just because, again, I don't know a lot about it. Usually with Japanese manga, I've already read the scans online by the time I import the Japanese manga, so I'd be able to talk about the series and stuff, but I don't have a lot to talk about with this series because I don't remember it a whole lot. This is a really cool cover. This is when we get to the rainbow volumes, which goes all the way to the end. I call them the rainbow volumes just because they changed the logo to rainbow, and that's where that begins. Really, really cool. 37. Almost got this one done. I'm going to try to finish up these volumes and end off the video. And I'm going to have to decide which manga series I want to try to buy next, because I do actually think I'm going to buy from this seller again. What was the name of the seller? It was Akiba Market or something like that. If you search Japanese manga on eBay, that's probably one of the major sellers you would find if you're looking at series. But Volume 42, the final series, and I actually do not like the cover of this one at all. I really wish it had a better cover illustration for this, just because that's really underwhelming and it's not that impressive to me, especially compared to a lot of these earlier ones. Like even this one, the one before the final volume, that one looks pretty badass, and then you have the final volume with a pretty bad cover. But anyway, there we have it, 42 manga volumes, first package of the month, starting off the month pretty heavy. Actually bought this at the end of July, but it took about 5 to 7 business days for them to ship it out, and that's my only complaint with the seller, is just because it did actually take a while to ship out. But he, the seller messaged me and stuff and was like, hey, it might take up to 10 business days for me to ship it out and stuff, so I can't really complain on that because it took less than 10 days. And then the shipping time was amazing because it only took 3 business days, so super excited about that. But yeah, this is what we have for this one. We're going to have another package coming in today, hopefully. Apparently it's out for delivery right now, so it's early in the day still, so it'll probably be arriving in a couple of hours, but we're going to try to unbox that one as well. So that's all we have for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Later.